Brought to you by
Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. JN Money. From abroad to Yad. And Cineco. Keeping Cayman covered.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Wednesday, the 26th day of August 2026, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on our roads, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road because the life you save may just be your own. And to add to that, folks, today, school starts today as well. So our children will be on the roads, either in buses or in private vehicles. Some may even be walking to school. Some may be cycling to school as well. So again, you drivers out there, please be cautious, be patient. Desist with your aggressive and careless driving. We need to ensure that we have some control over our roads and the traffic in the Cayman Islands. And, you know, all of the laws, all of the regulations, all of the enforcement in the world will not be successful if we do not take personal responsibility for our actions on our road. So again, please be careful out there. Those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday or a happy belated birthday, whichever is applicable. And to remind you that the For the Record birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes from generation to generation. Coca-Cola still a Cayman classic. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we want to wish you a speedy recovery. And of course, yesterday and today, and it'll continue for a while, the world is mourning the loss of a country singer, philanthropist, and other things, the late Dolly Parton as well. So we know that many of you who are fans are feeling it today as well. So that's breaking world news as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and, by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, roads that will continue to be even busier now that schools are open, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I'm your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. Toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That is 1-800-534-8255. Other numbers 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp number 925-3261. So let's first look at the birthday shoutouts, again brought to you by Coca-Cola. Today, Mr. Horatio Esteban, he is celebrating his birthday today, along with Dwayne Ebanks, celebrating a birthday today as well. Tomorrow, Delva Hurlston Watler and Janet Holness will be celebrating their birthdays. We have others as well. Let me share them with you, coming from Miss Aldine. A very special birthday shout out to a member of the Cayman Islands Fire Service of their department, Miss Tiffany Ebanks, celebrating a birthday today. Tiffany Ebanks, celebrating a birthday today. Also, Vidette Almendarez, celebrating a birthday today. Mr. Burton Ebanks also celebrating his birthday today. And mention number 2, Dwayne Ebanks, celebrating a birthday today as well. Tomorrow and Thursday, Andrew Borden also celebrating his birthday. And I believe I have another request here. Yes. Could you please send belated birthday wishes to Omar? His birthday was yesterday. Wishes are coming from your co-worker, Ariz, OJ, and Myrtle. And then a person says the show should be 5 days a week, or even 5 hours. Thank you for those comments. But we hope that with the period of time from 7:30 to 10 o'clock, with 2.5 hours, 3 days a week, that we can give you at least satisfy your desires in relation to the show that we provide for you as well. But again, thank you for those compliments. If you know someone who's celebrating a birthday or any other momentous occasion, please share that information with us right here on For the Record, and we will give them a birthday shout out or some other shout out depending on what they are celebrating as well. Any callers yet, Miss Susan? Okay, no callers. Let's look at our local news to see what is taking place, and we will start off by looking at the Cayman, what's on the Cayman Compass website. Barracuda captured after second governor's beach bite. Of course, any incident like this, if not properly managed, could, to a certain extent, have an impact on our tourism industry of sorts. We see shark attacks taking place in other jurisdictions as well. This is one is a barracuda, and it is commendable that the Department of Environment has taken immediate action. I was wondering because while we want to protect our environment, when there are predators in our waters, then we have to do something about that. We know that most marine life is territorial. We know that barracudas are territorial, and they would return to that area. And it seems as if the times when these attacks have occurred, is when they're out there feeding. So it was good to know that the barracuda was removed. I am told that they will be, I forget the term that is used, but anyway, they will dissect to a certain extent the barracuda to see what's in his stomach and to determine whether or not that is the culprit. Not sure what they're going to do with the barracuda after that, the intestines, but there are some people like myself who believe that the barracuda is the sweetest fish in the ocean. So not sure what they're going to do with that, but great that they have taken immediate steps to address the situation. That in itself should give comfort to our beach users as well. I still say, and not to say that any lifeguard would have prevented this from happening, but certainly the response time could still be reduced, and I still advocate for the fact that we should have lifeguards on our public beaches. Good employment for young Caymanians if they're properly trained and everything, and that is something that we should look into as well. So other articles in the Cayman Compass. Cayman, same-sex marriage will come to pass. A campaigner has predicted. Government buys Kittywinks to expand Sir Johnny Cumber capacity. Good news there as well. Long waits top the list of Health Services Authority patient concerns. And Minister wants various career paths for Caymanians promoted. That is Minister Michael Miles. We do have a caller on WhatsApp, but we're going to take the commercial break first so that we don't have to interrupt the caller to go to a commercial break. Caller on WhatsApp, hang in there. We're going to take a commercial break and then we will come back to you. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
Cayman! Are you ready for the ultimate flavor festival? Cayman Wing Fest 2026 hits the Great Lawn at Pedro St. James on Saturday, August 29th from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Witness history with Cayman's first ever all-you-can-eat wing battle and the brutal Can You Manage the Spice Challenge? Live on stage. Wash down the heat with refreshing ice-cold Coca-Cola. Grab your Tier 2 passes today on ticketsplus.ky before lawn capacity caps out.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market. You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're going straight to our WhatsApp caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yeah, good morning, Osi. How are you doing today?
Good morning.
Sir?
I'm fine. How are you?
Yep. Hanging in. Mr. Connor, I'm a little bit concerned about the Barra situation. Just bear with me a second.
Mm-hmm.
The ocean, or the sea, whatever we call it, God put that there, and He put fish, shark, everything is in the sea there. That's there. That's where they belong. That's their home. Yes, it is sad that somebody got cut or bit by this. I don't know how they know 100% that it was a barra, but you said earlier that it seemed like they caught the barra. And like what you say, sweetest fish in the sea, and all they need is to get a few fritters, and they can enjoy that. But suppose tomorrow, Mr. Connor, there's another person get bit or got cut. You're going to take the barra out of the sea again. They're going to keep taking stuff. That is a part of this thing, Mr. Connor. I used to spearfish when I was young, and the barra don't attack you like that. Maybe if somebody got on a bracelet or something that would flicker in the water, yes, that barra would probably go at you, but not like that. So I don't know if it is right. Like I said, tomorrow somebody's bitten again. They got to take the barra out of the water, and they don't know for sure if it was a barra. What about a shark? They got to take other parts of the world. People get bite every day. In Florida especially, is somebody getting cut or bit by a shark. And I don't think that they're going to remove them out of the water, because that would be a sad situation. I mean, every fish, you understand what I'm saying, sir? And
yeah, I understand to a certain extent, but like I said earlier, there's certain fish that are territorial, and that barracuda probably was accustomed to feeding in that area. Not to say that there are not likely to be other barracudas there, but I guess by true observation, it will be able to determine whether or not there are any more there, and whether or not they pose a threat, to beach users or to swimmers in that area.
Yeah, so I'm saying I wonder if they can continue taking them out all the time. And
well, they do the same. They do the same thing. They do the same thing with sharks as well. Bear in mind that what the expert opinion is in relation to sharks, that sharks really don't look to attack human beings, right? It's usually either an error or something that has sparked them. So it is unusual for these marine life to attack human beings. So when it does occur, the barracuda has bitten one person, they now have that taste and that attraction towards that. That is why they're caught, because they now have some sort of an appetite or an attraction to that area. So that's why they're either removed or caught. They do the same thing with sharks. Australia, places like that, same thing is done. You try to find the predator that has done that, and you remove them.
Yeah, well, like we say, if what the government could do, or the Marine Department, is warn people that is going to the beach to swim and stuff like that, because that barrel was very close in, because I don't think that person could have been for. I don't know the situation, but what the Marine Department could do is warn people that is going to swim, to take off their bracelets, their chain, and stuff like that. That will attract borrowers. I know that. But otherwise than that, I don't know. If, like I said, if we get three bites this week, you're going to remove 3 barracudas. So, that's just my opinion. But
Okay, yeah, and you're entitled to that. Yeah, you're entitled to your opinion. Yes.
Yeah, listen to somebody else.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, caller. Folks, like I said earlier, schools are open today. The Education Ministry of Education Training press release out, mobile phones banned in government schools. Says mobile phones, all government schools will ban personal electronic devices, including mobile phones and any device that can be used for communication or connectivity. Education Minister Honorable Ralston Anglin announced Friday, 21st of August, at the Education Professionals Welcome event at the John Gray High School gymnasium. The policy takes effect as the 2026-2027 academic year begins on today, Wednesday, the 26th of August. Minister Anglin said the decision follows numerous complaints from teachers and parents about classroom distraction. It's quoted as saying, across every school campus, we received complaints about the distractions that unnecessary technology is causing, close of quotes. He goes on to say, and I quote again, we have taken that feedback very seriously. Minister said that established communication policies are already in place to allow parents to reach their children and schools to reach parents when needed. We will not be putting any child or their families at risk, he said. He added that schools will work directly with families of children with special and additional educational needs to address any concerns arising from the policy. Schools will continue finalizing the specific arrangements for implementing the policy and will provide parents with further information and guidance in the coming weeks. The Ministry of Education and Training and the Department of Education Services will support schools throughout the implementation. The Education Professionals Welcome event marked the start of the 2026-2027 academic year for teachers and education professionals across the government system. Acting Governor Honorable Gloria McFeel-Nixon, Acting Ministry of Education and Training Chief Officer Mr. Elroy Bryan Watler, and Director of Education Services Mr. Mark Ray also delivered remarks. Other notable attendees included Premier Honorable Andre Ebanks, Acting Deputy Governor Ms. Setonia Cacho, Ministers Honorable Isaac Rankin, Honorable Nicholas DaCosta, and Honorable Michael Miles, Parliamentary Secretary Ms. Heather Borden, Deputy Speaker Mrs. Pearlina McGaw-Lumsden, and Member of Parliament Mr. Christopher Saunders. They were all attended that event. So that is in relation to the banning of cell phones and other devices used for connectivity. Here's another one in relation to education. Lots of things happening, good things happening in education. Sir Johnny Cumber, and you would have heard this on the news this morning as well, right here on Radio Cayman. Sir Johnny Cumber Primary School to expand. Sir Johnny Cumber Primary School will expand into the former Kiddywinks preschool site in West Bay. Education Minister Honorable Ralston Anglin announced Friday again at the Education Professionals Welcome event at the John Gray School Gymnasium. The primary school will begin occupying the site in the coming week. The Ministry of Education and Training acquired the property for approximately $6.5 million. Under the expansion, 3 existing reception classes will be relocated to the new site, joined by 1 new class, and bringing the total number of reception classes to 4. The site will also introduce 2 autism-specific classrooms for Key Stage 1 students, expanding provisions beyond the school's existing autism-specific classrooms for Key Stage 2 students. Teachers have already been recruited to staff the new classrooms. The additional space increases the school's capacity for early year students and those with special educational needs, helping it meet growing demand for school places in the district. Minister Anglin said the expansion responds to sustained population growth, with West Bay identified as a fast-growing district and a particular pressure point for school planning. The pressures that come with projecting population growth in this district over the next 5 to 10 years caused me a great deal of concern. That's a quote from Minister Anglin. He also said, in listening carefully during our school visits, we made sure we did something about it. For any primary school in Cayman, that addition is significant. It allows us to manage and accommodate both the current and future growth rates we are seeing across our islands. The West Bay expansion is one of several capital projects underway in the government school system. The new Lehman East Scott High School campus is nearing completion, while work is set to begin on the new hall at the Joanna Clark Primary School. The announcement was made at the Education Professional Welcome event, which marked the start of the 2026-2027 academic year for teachers. So, again, Kiddywinks, acquired by government, $6.5 million, expanding the preschool and also having more classrooms and accommodation for those students who are challenged with autism as well. Lots of things going on. We're investing our money in the right places, and I am sure that we will see positive results as a result of these investments as well. Folks, we've reached that time, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. When we return, during the course of the morning between 8:15, 8:30, and 9 o'clock, we will have the Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Kenneth Bryan, Member of Parliament, Mr. Roy Tatum, and Member of Parliament and Deputy Speaker, Honorable Pearlina McGaw-Lumsden. So don't change that dial. For the record, we'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. Hospital officials are reassuring the public after a, quote, minor fire incident at the Georgetown Hospital. The Health Services Authority says a small electrical fire occurred in the laboratory on Monday, but staff quickly extinguished it before it could spread. The incident was limited to a single outlet with no injuries reported and no disruption to laboratory operations. The Health Services Authority is emphasizing that, contrary to some public reports, the incident did not involve chemicals and was strictly electrical in nature. In the interest of public safety, a targeted response by the Department of Environment's Marine Unit located and removed a barracuda from the waters near Governor's Beach that had been, quote, observed to exhibit unusual behavior. This after 2 separate biting incidents that left 2 tourists injured this month. Barracudas are a natural part of Cayman's waters. While marine life encounters resulting in injury are, quote, rare, local authorities are encouraging beachgoers to remain vigilant and aware of your surroundings while enjoying the sea. The DOE's conservation officers will continue to monitor the area as a part of regular patrol. And there are only a few days left to take advantage of government's summer duty waiver initiative. CIGTV's Leanna Jarvis reports.
Cabinet approved the temporary relief measure to extend the higher duty-free threshold throughout July to August to assist families with cost of living pressures and back-to-school expenses. Minister for District Administration and Home Affairs, the Honorable Nicholas DaCosta, says this is not for commercial importation.
So, Mr. Speaker, this government has been clear that cost of living relief cannot be addressed by one single measure. There is no one policy that will fix every pressure that families face. But that does not mean we should not dismiss practical measures because they're not perfect. Sometimes good government is identifying the measures that may not solve everything, but will still help. And this, Mr. Speaker, is one of these measures.
School supplies such as pencils, markers, and geometry sets are statutorily duty-free and do not count towards a passenger's allowance. Customs and Border Control officials remind all travelers to make accurate declarations as routine duty-free thresholds resume on September 1st.
The new permanent standard allowance is now $800. In regional news, marine scientists from Trinidad and Tobago recently conducted the first locally led and most comprehensive deep-sea survey of the island's surrounding ocean during an expedition, with the team discovering 20 suspected new species and mapping approximately 13% of the country's marine territory. The potential new species include an octopus that was first spotted during a 2014 expedition. The scientists did not have the required data to confirm whether it was a new species back then, but can now confirm this with the data collected on this latest expedition. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller.
BBC News with Moira Alderson. The Nepal Tourism Board says nearly 400 travellers are out of contact after devastating floods swept through northern Nepal and triggered mudslides across the border in Tibet. Almost 300 of them are foreign nationals. At least 14 newborn babies have been killed in a fire at one of Pakistan's main state-run hospitals. Officials say the fire broke out on the neonatal ward of the Pakistan Institute of Medical Sciences in Islamabad. One newborn is said to have survived. China's Narcotics Control Commission has warned that a growing number of teenagers are misusing prescription drugs to deal with exam pressure. Students are buying non-regulated substances online to cope with grueling study hours, a sense of isolation and a strict elimination system. Oil prices continue to fall as hopes rise the Strait of Hormuz could reopen. Crude oil's tumbled more than 8% this week to well below $90 a barrel as Tehran and Oman have resumed talks on how to manage traffic through the strategic waterway. Russian officials say a Ukrainian drone attack has destroyed another warehouse run by its biggest online retailer, Wildberries. The governor of Tambov region said 2 people were wounded in the attack that caused a massive fire at the logistics centre. The World Health Organization is calling for a 6-month truce in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo to help contain the Ebola outbreak. The Africa Regional Director says insecurity has disrupted disease surveillance, delivery of supplies, and even forced partners to pull staff from high-risk areas. BBC News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio. For the Health of It, heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. Brought to you by UHealth International, University of Miami Health System. International patients go to UHealth International for consultations with renowned physicians, advanced treatment technologies, leading-edge medical therapies, and state-of-the-art surgical procedures. Whatever your particular reason for going to UHealth International, you will receive customized medical care delivered within a compassionate, multicultural setting. The care you need when you need it.
Radio Cayman News.
3 separate grand court cases involving child complainants are moving forward.
9 consultants for a new school block within the Northside School premises.
John Tibbet's contribution to the Cayman Islands extends far beyond the National Weather Service.
So the event is in full swing. How's it feeling?
Great.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
7 days a week.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
We were set to battle, and your Aunt Angie was leading the pack when...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with car damage?
Oh, right. Well, long story long. I took down the assassins and wound up inventing a new form of mixed martial arts. I became an international champion until one sore loser karate kicked my car. But I was covered with CG.
Covered for malicious damage and more. CG Britcay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 86 degrees. Relative humidity is 85%. The barometric pressure is 1014.2 millibars. The wind is out of the east-southeast at 5 knots. Synopsis indicate residual moisture associated with a tropical wave is likely to be enhanced by an upper-level trough. Mid-levels are relatively dry, limiting shower activity. Today we can expect partly cloudy skies with a low to moderate chance of showers and possible thunder, and winds are light to gentle but could become gusty near showers. Seas are forecast to remain slight to moderate, and radar imagery show a few showers in and around the Cayman area moving towards the west. Now the forecast for today calling for fair to occasionally cloudy with a 30% chance of showers and possible thunder. And temperatures today will be in the low 90s with a heat index of 109 degrees Fahrenheit. Your winds will be easterly at 5 to 10 knots with higher gusts, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Forecast for tonight calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers and possible thunder, and temperatures dipping to the low 80s tonight. Your winds will be easterly at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet as well. We're presently at a high tide, and the next low tide will be this afternoon at 2:25, with a high tide again tonight at 8:52. The sun will set this evening at 6:44 and will rise tomorrow morning at 10 minutes past 6. And the outlook is calling for a decrease in chance of showers through Thursday. Another tropical wave is forecast to move across the area during the latter part of Friday. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what, though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways. Offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit Cayman Airways issues.com.
Sports. Stay up to date on your sports news with Radio Cayman Monday through Friday at 7 a.m., 6 p.m., and 10 p.m. It's all about sports.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Top of the morning. Let's check in now with traffic, see how the traffic is shaping up for this morning. Further up on Shamrock Road, traffic flowing at a moderate pace. Further down, a little different story as traffic a little steadier as you approach the Linford Pearson Highway. On Crew Road, traffic is moving moderate in both directions. And coming off of Bobby Thompson Way, moderate flow of traffic and continuing on to Huldah Avenue. Taking a quick look at Godfrey Nixon Way and Easton Avenue, flowing pretty good in both directions. North Sound Road, steady but flowing. Industrial Park area, moving at a moderate pace. Coming from the West Bay four-way stop, traffic is flowing nicely, as well as on Owen Roberts Drive. If you've seen any accidents or incidents, let us know by calling us at 949-6990. Traffic steady coming off of the Esterly Tibbetts Highway, slight delays expected. And that's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 15 minutes after 12. We'll give you another look at traffic. Remember, click it or ticket. Buckle up.
Need a spark? Then Subway's new Ghost Pepper Bread's got just what you need. Amp up your lunch with its smoky Ghost Pepper blend and spicy jalapeno topping on your favorite sub. Or in our two new recipes, Subway's new Ghost Pepper Spicy Chicken and Ghost Pepper Spicy Steak subs, made with crispy onions, jalapenos, and a zesty chipotle sauce. Now that's one way to turn up the heat. Get it for a limited time before it's gone. Subway's new Ghost Pepper Bread, coming in hot. Only at Subway.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Your health is everything, and it's important to have a doctor who cares. Dr. Sidney Ebanks, proud Caymanian, has a big heart for his community, specializing in complex cases, urgent care, and preventative medicine. Dr. Ebanks offers over 20 years of experience. He listens to your needs, your frustrations, and what you're experiencing. He treats more than just the illness. He treats you. Dr. Sidney Ebanks, where care meets compassion. Because every patient deserves a dedicated doctor who cares. Call Dr. Ebanks at Grand Harbor Medical today at 949-4309.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, Cayman Bryan. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. The phone lines will remain open until our guests arrive in the studio. I think that should be probably around about another 15 minutes or so. So meanwhile, the phone lines are open. I think there were a few persons trying to get through earlier. So I would encourage you to try calling in now while the phone lines are open. I am made to understand that some of our guests are here, but they will come in to the studio in a little while, so we still have some time to chat if you want to call in to talk about something as well. Any of those calls coming through yet, Miss Susan? Nothing yet, right? Okay. Let's look at some of these stories. So we shared earlier with you the purchase of the Kiddewinks to expand the Sir John A. Cumber primary school campus, to expand that. We shared with you the Barracuda being captured. Let's look at the Hello to Hired event that took place on Monday. We do have a caller. Let's go to the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, OC. How you doing?
Hey, good morning. I'm good. How are you? How are things over in the back?
Oh, things in the back is beautiful. I just want to put in one little piece about there on the incident down there with the bar.
Sure.
For those of you that don't know, try to listen to something sensible, Cayman. You don't like that. Any way that you are swimming, especially on the 7 Mile Beach, because I've seen it over and over. And number one, a barra is a territorial fish. That fish that they caught there, that was the one that bit those people. Now, another one will come, That's how they operate, because I can meet somebody, Carlisle, today, and if a barra comes in there every day and feed, you can watch him coming in the reef, okay? Now, what happening down there with the tourists kicking up the sun, They're thing called skill pot. There's skill pots and thing in the sun. And the shards that were probably there eating them. And a shard is hard for the human to see because he's basically, anybody that know this, he's basically the color of the sun. You understand?
Yes,
so
yes.
Probably that barra, he didn't intentionally bite those people. He would probably seen those shards around those people's feet and legs and ran to grab one of them and hit the people. That is my belief on it. And like I say, I raised on the waterfront. I've been spear fishing from the time I was a boy, right? So this is what you call years of practical experience. Good. All right, now, brother OC. Hello?
Yep. I'm listening.
Yeah, okay. I say when I called in one morning, you say you had another guest, another phone call on. So I said you had 7 minutes left. So the other caller, Mr. Raymond, he was there all the 35 seconds. And then you asked him about the weed. And he said, he's not into that. No. Your reply was, because I can remember playing drum from 18, your reply was, I guess you got to live amongst them. And I really, deciphering that in my brain, like he's afraid to say something because we again just smokers gonna eat him or something. It's a joke to you. What is a joke to you? Is that the crap? School children say hurricanes a joke to them, but it was that the crap. You understand?
Yeah, it wasn't really a joke. It was just that when I laughed there because I was thinking the same thing, but you expressed it verbally. I didn't.
Well, just to let you know, if we, the ganja smokers of the Cayman Islands, the disrespectful citizens, the dumb ones, the stupid ones, because we smoke marijuana, if we was aggressive like the LGBT, ganja would have been decriminalized just like same-sex marriage, and we could be able to walk up and down the streets, block it off, waving a ganja flag and smoking a ganja spliff. But we don't have that privilege because when we smoke our weed, we just tend to relax our body and try to be nice citizens, although we have to hide from the law, you know? And I think if you, now Mr. O.C., well, I know you anti-marijuana still so, but if you read up about how much billions the federal government is making and all the other countries in the world that is going in to medicine, but going back, not going in, going back. Because you can trace back to the early 1900s where they had the asthma pump. And it had on it from there extract of cannabis, right?
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow, like you said, our society do accept it. But tell me something, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a respectable society. But that's funny because government statistics states that 20% of the population, the Caymanians, have a criminal record.
Okay.
That is a very respectable community. 20% criminals, that's 1/5, somewhere like that, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
one in every 5 are criminals.
Mm-hmm.
I would call that a dangerous society. But you see, the one that got a police record is merely for ganja. And only one is just for consuming. Because if you can't catch me, the next day you come and talk, I want you in test. And what happened? The judge, we go there, get fined, and we get a conviction. You are a criminal for smoking marijuana, a plant. And anyhow, I had to call and come in because I know your guests that coming on.
Sure.
So they're not gonna say nothing about it. But they don't have.
You never know. You never know. You never know. Don't prejudge.
Well, they don't have very much to say. Anyhow, Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're going to grab one more caller who was trying to get in before we went to the 8 o'clock news before we introduce our guest. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. How art thou? Hey, listen. When you're traveling, you need to let your fans know that you won't be on air. You know, yeah.
well, I need to do that because I've been getting a lot of WhatsApp calls. They think I'm sick. Because, and I too want to thank you for loving my dialogues on your radio because I'm building up such a huge fan base, and it's only because you have now taken your finger off that button that you used to use before to cut me off. Yeah. I can't elaborate too much on the last caller conversation because I'm not too much into the ganja smoking because when I was a teenager, my friends used to say, don't give him any because he head is too light. So I never did get into that. See, I had light head. But I would like to touch on my good friend, Mr. George Gillette.
Okay.
His conversation, sound more like he would like to also protect the barra, like how the sharks are being protected. But I hope that don't happen because I think you might have mentioned earlier that the barracuda is one of the sweetest fish in the sea, and we wouldn't want to be limited on being able to consume.
Yeah, put a restriction on that, on catching barracuda, right?
Yeah. But I think, this is a good opportunity because I think, as you know, we grew up here. We know that the barra feed on the little jacks and whatever that comes close to the shore, and the jacks come in there so they can get the fries. But now there's no fries because of the influx of certain individual. No more fries for the little fish to come in and eat off. So there's nothing much maybe for the barra to feed on. That's how I'm looking at it. So the barras now are becoming very, very now they're accumulating so much in that area because that's a known fishing area.
Yeah.
So
you have to do more hunting now for as well because of the depletion of what they would normally feed on.
Right. So I think this might be a good opportunity for the DOE or whoever to open up that area for only Caymanians to fish at a certain particular time to see if we can maybe extinguish the amount of predators like the barracudas or whatever that might be accumulating, because that's a very sensitive area, not only for the environment but for our visitors.
It's extremely It's extremely popular. When my daughter is here, that she Governor's Beach is the only place beach that she likes to go to. By the way, her birthday is today too. I got to remember that today is her birthday.
Happy birthday to her too.
Yes.
How could you forget that?
No, I didn't. I deliberately didn't want to mention it, but I decided to slip it in there.
The Barracuda brought it up.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And then also you got a good friend, Andrew McLaughlin, that swim there every single morning.
Wow. Okay.
And he told me a couple mornings ago before I traveled that, Lord Graham, you got to come and get this Barracuda out of here. I said, what happened? He says a huge one in this area.
Mm.
And there's a lot of women along with him and that swims in that area. So it seems like the one that they caught don't seems like the big old one that Andrew told me about. So it might be a lot more in that area. So I think they should just open that up for us to go down there. And I don't want them to open it up where you got people down there with rod thrown from the shore. Everybody you got to specifically state that only Caymanians allowed, and you got to do it from a boat.
Yeah.
You know, like how we can just.
You don't want it to be like one of those Jaws incidents, right? Where everybody's up there.
Yeah. So yeah, they could open that up for a couple of months or something and allow us to go down there and troll around and see if we can catch whatever it is that is lurking in the deep there where nobody can see.
Yep.
Yeah, so that might be a good idea.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Look forward to you getting back. Yep. As well.
Right.
Okay.
Sure.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Gentlemen, good morning. We have about 3 minutes before we go to our commercial break. Excellent opportunity to say good morning and welcome back.
Good morning, Mr. Corner, and good morning to your listening audience, and a special good morning to your daughter, and happy birthday to her. I know as a father of 2 girls, must feel pretty good today, thinking back at all the memories of all the birthdays growing up and stuff. So happy birthday to her. It's an honor to be here with my colleague, Roy Tatum. So we're looking forward to the conversation this morning.
Thank you, sir. Morning, OC.
Morning, good morning.
Certainly is good to be back here with you, and good morning to my constituents in Red Bay, all of Grand Cayman, and as always, my friends and families in Cayman Brac. I join with a happy birthday to your daughter, sir. But I also want to, I heard you in my drive-in, I heard you mention a good friend of mine had a birthday today. I think it was today. Horacio Esteban?
Yes.
Did I hear that correct?
Yes.
So Horacio, happy birthday, my brother. All the best to you. And just want to also say while I have the mic, just appreciation to the RCIPS for being at the schools this morning. They'd indicated to me that they would be, and I was very happy to see that. Not only at Red Bay and also at Prospect, but I gather at all the government schools at any rate. So that was actually very good to see. And back to school. Traffic wasn't too bad for me this morning. Maybe that's because the police were out assisting. I got here a bit early, so I sat in the parking lot and just listened for a bit.
Okay.
But want to wish all the kids a fantastic school year, and make sure you do your homework, listen to your teachers, listen to your parents, and to all parents and teachers. Also have a successful year with the kids. I just want to wish all the teachers. There was a point in my life, OC, when I was a teenager, I wanted to be a teacher.
Oh, okay.
And things didn't work out that way. I ended up in banking, and then eventually we're where I am now. But teaching is a calling.
Yes.
I still think you do a little bit of that.
And what's that?
I still think you do a little bit of that.
Well, I made a little bit of that, but
it's a noble profession.
It is. I had a teacher once say to me, there are jobs worth doing, and those that you have to get paid to do. And the teaching is certainly one that's worth doing. Fortunately, they're paid a bit better today than they used to be. But yeah, so good morning again, and all the best to everybody going to school today. Okay,
one of our listeners said, praise God for his creation, the great ganja plant. They go on to say, Mr. O.C., if you knew the people who smoke ganja, you would not believe it. And I have no doubt that there are persons who smoke it for various reasons. I just want to, first of all, encourage people to look at the publication, the discussion document that is out there, And the other thing is that you want to consider the challenges to be faced that other overseas territories have faced when it comes to legalization of marijuana as opposed to decriminalization.
Yeah.
There are greater challenges with the former as opposed to the latter as well. But don't just let your voice be heard either by sending us WhatsApp messages or calling in, but go and read that document and make your submissions in terms of what your viewpoints are on it as well. With that, folks, go ahead.
I just wanted to set the stage because I want to make sure the listening audience stay tuned, particularly when we go to break.
Okay.
That we're here to talk about a few things, particularly with the recent fish attacks on 7 Mile Beach, the recent announcements of the school restrictions. We've also had a release by the Premier and the Speaker about the parliamentary sittings that are coming up for over the next 6 months. And obviously there's some discussion about marijuana. We don't want to overwhelm the show with that, but it could be tied into the new bill that is coming to deal with some restrictions on smoking and different types of smoking with these vapes and cigarettes and so forth. So we can fuse that into that. And the last thing, which is of topical discussion, is that the recent article of over 50% of applications for work permits have been refused compared to those that have been approved.
Okay.
Which says a whole lot in one bunch. So we'll talk about that, and we definitely want people to tune in. So tune in after you come back from the break.
Okay, folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money Transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, it is my honor and pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning the Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Kenneth, Bryan, Member of Parliament, Mr. Roy Tatum, and we will be joined later on by the Deputy Speaker, Honourable Pearlina McGaw-Lumsden, as well. Gentlemen.
Yes, Mr. Connor, again, it's a pleasure to be back. I hope everybody, particularly the parents, are doing well today. I know they'll be like, oh my God, thank God, they're going back to school now with a lot less stress because, school does occupy the kids positively rather than being at home for the summer, which is, less pressure on the household, eating out of the fridge and everything and using up electricity and all of that. So I know some of the parents must be quite excited today. I'm going to start off with one of the first topics, which is the fish attacks, which is now the second one that we've seen. Mm-hmm. I know that you've had a caller call in, the great Lord Graham, speaking about it. just so the public is aware, I was away. I just got back last night, so I've had to, watch the comments, the press releases, the media houses on this. And from a former Minister of Tourism perspective, there is that element of concern, but also the safety of all individuals, including those who are guests to our islands. And we will be, as a caucus, discussing this from the opposition, ensuring that the government is doing everything it can to keep people safe, but involving DOE in every aspect, from protection of the fish, but more importantly, the protection of human life. And my humble opinion, personally, I think it's just time to let some of our good old school Caymanians like Graham to go out there with a spear gun and traverse the 7 Mile beach to see if there's any lingering known fish that will harbor in the area, because after fish gets their habits of being in a particular area, they're known to say, okay, well, fish will hang around this area. And you will know that in past history, fish will be like, oh, there's just known one fish, and they even name them, like, Big John, we see that same situation with groupers.
Yeah.
Where
Sunset House, they had a
big, massive one there.
And the eel as well.
Moray
eel, yep.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes. So they're known to stay in one area once they're comfortable in that area. So there's obviously room for concern, particularly in this area, and I think DOE needs to make a strong, hard decision, because human life and safety of everyone is the most important. And we have enough barracudas all over Cayman. So if it is a barracuda, I mean, personally, and this is not on behalf of the People's Progressive Movement or the opposition, I think it's time for us to, unfortunately, eliminate that danger. However, it's necessary, particularly if it's a barracuda, which is not protected under law. Shark would have been a totally different thing, but would have different dangers. So we are going to be discussing that, but we are concerned particularly from the tourism perspective, as if that becomes a very global discussion about shark attacks or fish attacks or any kind of attacks, for that fact, on our beaches, it can harm us tremendously. And sometimes you don't even see it because people just don't make the booking on the basis of that, right?
Yeah. Do you think it's time for us to have lifeguards, and at least on some of our public beaches, especially those that are frequented by all guests, tourists, as well as residents on the island?
Well, we collectively, we haven't had that discussion. As the former Minister for Tourism, is something that I've discussed within the ministry concept, as well as within the hotel and tourism industry stakeholders. Once you start with one, then you almost create an emphasis of everybody has to do it. There is a onus upon individuals that when you go to water, you know that you're going into a danger zone. So there's a level of responsibility on yourself for that. If you put a lifeguard at a popular location, there's an element of accepting of responsibility, which will put the government in a very peculiar situation that if something happens, then you will have potential lawsuit opportunities and so forth. And then the question is, are there obligations on the hotels to have their own personal lifeguards? So it's one that if you go in, understand there's going to be a lot of legal requirements, potential risk of suit, compared to, is the onus upon individuals themselves for safety enough to keep people safe? I mean, we've been doing this for a long time, and we've had a pretty good track record compared to other jurisdictions and safety outside of the diving industry, which is usually due to person's age of the sport is what's causing much of that. But I am of the view, personally, again, we haven't had the opportunity to discuss it or have our leader direct us on this as to his tune and thought process of it. But I think that we can do enough signage and support systems, potentially volunteer systems, in order for that to be considered. Because it would be a very large infrastructure and cost perspective if you implement that. You can't just implement it on 7 Mile Beach. The people of East End, Northside, and everywhere else will need it as well. So that's my personal opinion. I don't know.
I'll join in. I'll give my opinion. As the deputy leader said, we haven't discussed it as a caucus. My personal view is I agree with additional signage. I think that's important. A caller earlier on mentioned, as I was driving in, that we also need to remind the public that if you're going swimming in the ocean, take off bracelets, anything shiny, right? That should be a PSA every so often. It should be at the hotels and whatnot. But in terms of lifeguards, I'm of the view that it is worthy of a conversation, right? It's worthy of a conversation not only for government to look at the public beach and the public beaches to see what is practical, what can be done, or what should be done, but also consider the large hotels, especially, that they would be required to have a lifeguard on duty. If it's not the entire day, whatever the parts of the day is that visitors are usually in the ocean, is worthy of a conversation. So,
I mean, when you look at other jurisdictions, that's standard on beaches to have lifeguards. And
in the Caribbean?
Well, not in the Caribbean necessarily, but in other jurisdictions, and I think to a certain extent, the government has a duty to protect people in that regard, and not simply say that you go out there at your own risk of peril.
We do invite people to come here and go on our beaches and go in our ocean. So, so it is worthy of a conversation.
Yeah,
I won't say that I'm fully on side with it, but I see the advantages of it. But can't just throw caution to the wind. We need to make sure that we at least consider it, see what the costs are, see what the benefits are. As you mentioned, it may bring some employment, may bring some added bit of safety. I don't know if we even know how often it is that we have close calls, and that is not for another member of the public. Something bad might have happened. So it's worthy looking into.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, the opposition is obviously not against that, but worthy of a conversation, and happy to discuss it within the context of our caucus. We had a similar investigation of lifeguards at the Turtle Center, whereby they obviously offer water sports related activities. So therefore, they had lifeguards there. It could be expanded from that point. So it's always has been a conversation within the tourism context. But like we've said before, there's a lot of other elements to consider. Maybe it's something we can discuss with the Minister of Tourism and the Minister for Lands, who's in charge of public places, to see if there's an appetite. Obviously, anything to do that is positive for the Cayman people and in our industry, the opposition would be fully in support of that. But I would like to, if we can, change the conversation now to the school phones restrictions, where we will be having this as a topic of the agenda. We would like to say congratulations to the government for obvious intent of this initiative to reduce the distractions for young people in schools. This is an area upon which our honourable member Roy Tatum is very passionate about from an education perspective. So I'll let him lead the charge in respect to our viewpoints on that.
Right. So I commend the minister when the conversation, the debate was had around social media, banning social media for under 16s in the Parliament. I referred then in my debate to other measures that should be considered. I wasn't very explicit. When the minister got up and he spoke, he actually mentioned at that point it was worthwhile looking into banning of cell phones and devices in the schools. And now he's gone ahead and actually done that. I support that. But I also heard that measures were being taken to make sure that parents had the ability to contact children and for children to contact their parents. I'm not sure exactly how that will be working, but there was a time when we didn't have cell phones, and things seemed to work out quite well, but things have changed since then.
I think if I could help you there, it says,
yes.
In the release, it says, Minister said that established communication policies are already in place to allow parents to reach their children and schools to reach parents when needed.
All right. Yeah. So that's established. So they are reinventing the wheel. I think it should be allowed a chance to work. I know how I didn't have cell phones when I was in school, but there were ways I could get distracted. Right? And I know that there are even more ways now that you have phones in schools. Yeah. So I do support it. I commend the government. I commend the minister. And let's see how it works going forward. And I really hope we can make a success of this.
Yeah.
Right. So
I mean, I want the public to understand that we are supporting the government on this. So it's coming from a support perspective, and our job is to always critique in a mature way to make sure that if there's any things that maybe they didn't see that we saw, that they can consider. And just a quick search on the pros and cons of restrictions of devices is there are some nuances, like say, for instance, kids with disabilities or sicknesses where they monitor their health, diabetes, other chronic ailments that devices do help with. So we're just hoping that we're going to ask some questions of the minister, obviously, maybe in private, maybe not necessarily in Parliament, because it's not a issue of contention here. But just to make sure that have they considered all angles. And I'm certain that the minister would have. He's a very go-getting type of minister, but our job is, 10 heads are better than just two. So we want to encourage and support, make sure that the pressures are not too overwhelming on the teachers for these devices as well.
Exactly.
Because, you're talking about an iPhone that costs $1,200, that goes missing, then it's a problem, it can cause issues. So these little things are the things that we want to make sure that when they implement those policies, that they've considered those and that there's no negative add-ons that we didn't consider. So ultimately, the official opposition, and I know the good Honourable Deputy Speaker, who is a very major proponent for distractions and protections of young people, particularly in schools, will speak to, and she's a big supporter of this, will speak to it in her opinion when she gets here. But naturally, we're in support of the restrictions and hope that it all goes well. And when we get back, we can speak more to the sitting of Parliament in respect to that.
Excellent. With that, folks, we're going to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
As Minister for Health, Environment and Sustainability, I'd like to personally invite you to join me at one of our upcoming public town hall meetings. We're discussing proposed changes to legislation covering environmental health, tobacco and vaping, public health, health practice, and I want to hear from you. Whether you have questions, concerns, or ideas to share, these meetings are an opportunity for open conversation about issues that affect us all. Join us at 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday, the 26th of August at the John Gray Memorial Church Hall in West Bay, or at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, the 27th of August at Constitution Hall in Georgetown. Come out, meet your neighbors, share your perspective, and be a part of shaping the future of health in our islands. Light refreshments will be available, and I look forward to seeing you there.
Your future starts at UCCI, but don't wait. Fall 2026 applications close August 28th. Build your future in digital media production with courses in video editing and content creation. Prepare to make a difference through teaching and education, social work, nursing, or pre-med, or build practical career skills in areas like plumbing and electrical installation. With associate, bachelor's, and postgraduate options, there's a path for you at UCCI. UCCI is now holding student admission, advising, and registration week. Applications close August 28th. Apply today at ucci.edu.ky.
Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us in the studio with me, Member of Parliament, Mr. Roy Tatum, and Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Kenneth Bryan. Gentlemen.
Good morning again, Mr. Connor, and a good morning again to all of our listening audience, particularly those that are major supporters of the People's Progressive Movement and the opposition. Special good morning to you and everyone else. We've talked about a couple of topics that have been on the radar of the listening audience: fish attack, school restrictions in school, and now we're going to move on to the announcement of the next sitting of Parliament, as we are MPs, and those are our working priorities. I'm going to just announce, I'm not sure if you were able to do so since it's come out, the announcement of the dates for the predicted dates for Parliament.
No, I haven't.
Okay, so the Honourable Speaker, Mr. Miller, and the Honourable Premier has agreed to the following dates for the meeting of Parliament for the period of September to December of 2027, and also potential sitting for next year. And the dates are only 3 days dates, which you can do a lot in 3 days in Parliament, but depending on the sitting, I'm hoping that they are able to amend if necessary. So the dates.
Well, we are encouraging them to go till 2 in the morning.
Well, I'm going to speak to that right after I announce the dates.
Just making sure.
That's a matter of concern for us.
Me too.
So the second meeting is from the 30th of September, the 1st of October, and the 2nd of October. So that's 3 days. The third meeting will be on the 25th of November to the 27th of November, so 26 as well included in the middle. The fourth meeting of Parliament will be the 27th, 28th, and 29th of January. So by this schedule, this is the first time we'll not be sitting in December for a very long time. Almost every year we've been in December. So I'm very proud that the Premier and the Speaker has been minded not to have
the Finance Committee.
Let's see what happens. But sometimes, emergency stuff pop up and they're allowed to call at any point in time. The next meeting, the fifth meeting, will be the 17th until the 19th of March. And then the sixth meeting will be on the 28th to the 30th of April. Now, these are all tentative and are subject to change if circumstances dictate. As for the New Year first meeting for the 2027-2028 session, the preliminary dates are for it to be on the 23rd to the 25th of June, which is scheduled to be a state opening, which there still seems to be some discrepancies as to what a state opening should do and shouldn't do in respect to, the governor speaking and so forth. But this is a 2-year one under the new budget coming up, so that one should be rather interesting. The second meeting for the 2027-2028, which will be next year, will be for the 22nd to the 24th of September, the 17th to the 19th of November. Now, obviously, there's been a large gap between the June and September of next year, but these are just tentative dates, which is good. I think it's a good habit to start, which is blocking those dates out so people know at the very least where they will be, and they will adjust them if necessary. But in light of this very proactive approach, which is something the opposition has been calling for, particularly our leader, the Honourable Joseph Hew, about predictability in Parliament, the other thing that is now drawn to our attention, which you heard my colleague just reference, is the timeliness of it. Our recent standing orders have changed where Parliament starts at 2 p.m., which has created a bit of a difficulty from the parliamentary business, whereby you can't get a lot done between 2 p.m. in a reasonable time before people are tired and time to go to bed. So there's been amendments to the standing orders that we meet the next day at 10 a.m. in the morning. So the original old way at 10 a.m. seems to be most logical. It's just that we never had a speaker as good as this one in respect to holding people accountable to start at 10. So I'm hoping that with this proactive scheduling, that they will also have the attitude of making sure with the amount that is on the agenda that can be done within the 3-day period. So naturally, as the deputy, I'll be asking the leader, as well we'll caucus in about this, is to get a confirmation and a commitment from the Honourable Premier and Speaker that we will end at a reasonable hour. I don't know if my colleague want to chime in on the difficulties we've had with that thus far.
The issue from my perspective isn't so much when you start. It is to make sure that we're productive when we're there, and also for the government not to expect to get more done than what is reasonable can reasonably be accomplished. In terms of the start time, we have there's been a process kicked off for us to come back again and look at standing orders, right? And that's one of the things that will be looked at. I personally have no issue with the 2 o'clock starting time, but that's me. But in terms of meeting more often, at least now we see a list of dates set out, which is excellent. What has happened in the past is that there were no dates set out, no dates pre-scheduled, and therefore sometimes you had long lengths of time between meetings. And I don't think that has happened so much recently, but having those dates set out is certainly a good start. But the government also needs to make sure that they get the business move forward that needs to get to the House. And if we need to have more sittings, I have no issue with that either. I prefer that than being forced till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when it becomes very unproductive.
Yeah.
Right. The last sitting, I think it was, I had to, as you're on your feet, even before you get up to debate, you're scratching out things that you thought were important because you're at a point where you need to realize that it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Some of the guys over there are falling asleep. One or two of my guys, really need to leave, and ladies. So you cut your debate short. But more importantly, I don't know how many people across the aisle are really listening.
Yeah.
So, and the public isn't listening. So it's actually, we need to make sure that the House is used efficiently and effectively, and that the government allows sufficient time for proper debate. You can't just be a tick box where you're putting something forward. You already have the votes on your side, and you don't have to convince anybody on the opposition benches. Yeah. So let's see how it goes. But I do believe, and maybe this will be a conversation during the standing order conversation. Yeah. I do believe we need to make sure that we utilize our time effectively. I've said it 3 times now, so I won't say it anymore.
Well, I'll add to that by saying, Mr. Corner, for the listening audience, so they can understand how the procedure works. With these 3-day periods, they usually start on a Wednesday and they end on a Friday. And Thursdays are what you call opposition days. And those are the days we deal with motions that we want to bring, heavily dealt with where the government will put on their reports and statements as well, because it's really not a day for government business other than reports as well as statements. So there'll be a lot of questions answered, but when it comes to motions, then by the time you push it off into the evening, people are already exhausted. That's why the 2 o'clock time start is a bit difficult, because you're getting into the intricate details of a subject matter of what you're trying to convince the Parliament and the members to vote in favor or not vote in favor. And every sentence that you articulate is a persuasive assessment of the topic. And then, like you hear my colleagues say, well, I'm going to cut out that sentence or that paragraph. It could be the defining point of why a member is convinced to say, okay, this is a good thing that the Honourable Roy Tatum has presented, therefore I'm going to vote for it. So that's why there's allocated amounts of time stamp available for you to debate. And if we're pushed to squeeze these things into a small amount of time, then it becomes difficult. The other part that needs to be considered is that the government will not be able to do a lot of their government business on a Thursday, so they only actually have 2 days, which is the Wednesday and the Friday. And if their Wednesday starts at 2, they're already starting on a half day. And they had to go through the various different stages of readings, first reading, second reading, third reading, committee stages, and any amendments, if any, pop up. So there's a lot of processes in that respect. And if you have a very complicated bill, like say, for instance, an immigration change, health-related matters, educational matters, the debates can get severe and very in-depth, as well as potentially a lot of amendments. And therefore, a day and a half to do serious government business is not adequate in our opinion. So what naturally happens, because we want to get into the details, is that the government trying to stay within the 3-day period pushes it into late hours, but then you get diminishing returns because members' minds are not, cognitive ability is not on point.
Mm-hmm.
So we think that at the very least, if the government is committed to saying operating at a time where we are cognitively at our full potential, and if that means an extra day, we will do so. So I know we have to go to a break, but I'm happy to further that analysis when we get
return. Okay, folks, top of the hour headline news. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
This is the People's Radio Station. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
Hospital officials are reassuring the public after a, quote, minor fire incident at the Georgetown Hospital. The Health Services Authority says a small electrical fire occurred in the laboratory on Monday, but staff quickly extinguished it before it could spread. The incident was limited to a single outlet with no injuries reported and no disruption to laboratory operations. In international news, Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has suspended a top health official after 14 newborn babies died in a fire at an Islamabad hospital's maternity unit. The fire broke out in an air conditioning unit at PEMS Hospital. Of the 15 babies who were in the ward at the time, 1 newborn was rescued. An investigation into the fire is underway with a committee ordered to report within 24 hours. And a huge flash flood has swept through villages in Nepal. Police say at least 8 people have been killed, but there are fears the toll will rise. Nepal's tourism board says at least 400 travelers, including foreign nationals, are missing. Tibet has also been impacted, with Chinese state media warning of major casualties. A mudslide also hit a Chinese airport where leader Xi Jinping urged, quote, all-out search efforts. Helicopters are searching the area, but waters in some parts are too high for them to land. The cause of the flood is not yet clear, but deadly floods last year were traced to the draining of a glacial lake. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
HSA's Orthopedic Clinic has relocated to the second floor of the Smith Road Medical Center. Our dedicated team of highly skilled orthopedic surgeons treat conditions ranging from spine to ankle injuries in adult and pediatric patients. We offer minimally invasive procedures from ligament reconstruction to hip and knee replacement. If you have experienced an injury due to sports or day-to-day activities, call 949-8600 and schedule an appointment with HSA's Orthopedic Clinic, now located at the Smith Road Medical Center.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the record, with Orrett.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us in the studio with me, Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Kenneth Bryan, and Member of Parliament for the constituency of Red Bay, Mr. Roy Tatum. Just one question that I had in relation to the times that Parliament meet and whether or not the staff has also been consulted in terms of these changes, especially if they have to go late in the night and still have to return at their regular time the next day at their regular hours as well.
Staff will be consulted, but
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can answer that adequately. What I mean by that is that that's an HR-related matter on which we cannot intervene.
Okay.
What I do know the rules are is that however long the Parliament, through its Speaker, have decided to proceed, the staff have to be available. I think maybe where your concern is coming up is as to whether or not the impacts on staffing is considered.
Right.
Now, naturally, the thing that comes to my mind is that they're contracted to work till 5 o'clock on average for any civil servant, and therefore any time past that hour is they have to be paid for either overtime or time in lieu of some sort. And it's become a cultural thing to be very late in the evening. And then there's a heavy expectation, and I got to give credit to the parliamentary staff who does such an amazing job. They would leave, the parliament at 2 o'clock in the morning and be back there at 7 o'clock in the morning, be ready, alert, and have all the documents necessary for us to proceed in the day. I think it's unfair. I think we can be better at it as MPs and members of parliament to control the timing, because these people have families. There's no leeway for us as MPs. That people have to do. You have to do your work for the people, but for the staff that they have families and so forth, and then it becomes a cost factor. We have a budget for salaries for the parliament. I haven't even examined, because I'm a member of the parliamentary committee that deals with the cost for parliament. I'm going to be examining that as how does this late night hours affect the cost factor. It was never something on my radar before for me to examine. But more importantly, I think that where we have to control this narrative or this issue is in the business committee. So business committee, for those who are listening, is the committee that deals with what will be on the agenda in that parliamentary sitting. And whether the amount of things that are being presented, whether they're reports, whether they're regulations, whether they're legislation, motions, do we think the amount of days that have been allocated is adequate for a decent discussion within a reasonable period of time? And sometimes I think we are too quick to just squeeze too much into very little, and then we recognize, commitments and scheduling for traveling and so forth, particularly for the government members. The opposition, we are not responsible for any ministry, so we don't have to travel. That they're squeezing in things because of the scheduling. So we got to be more better at that. And I want to preface that by saying I know that the Honourable Premier and the Honourable Speaker is trying to better this process. And what we're saying is that we're here to support them in that, because we recognize the decline in efficiencies with what we do as members of Parliament if we're not doing it at the right time from a cost factor perspective, for the finances of the staff, but also from our ability to actively do our job better with our minds right in the late night hours. So,
and in terms of the opposition, to ensure that we can do our duty by the people.
Yes.
One good way, if someone is so minded, on the Thursdays when there's our opportunity to offer up motions and to debate, is to, before that time comes for our motions, you can throw a whole pile of reports and other things that the government will present, and that then ties up a lot of the day, and therefore stymies your ability to have more time for good debate. So it's something we need to look at when we do the review of the standing orders.
Mr. Connor, this is a perfect opportunity to introduce my Deputy Speaker and member for Georgetown West, who is a very strong advocate, particularly in this area. So I want to welcome her. She just got in. Good morning, Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Good morning. It's so good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Good morning. Good morning.
And thank you so much for having us. I appreciate it once again. Good morning, Mr. Roy.
Morning, ma'am.
You might want to bring that mic a little closer to you.
Sure, of course. Can you hear me now better?
Yep.
Yes. And apologies for being 2 minutes late. I'm assuming you guys are talking about the
late night hours. Yes.
And it's so funny. I don't know how to run right into this, but we actually have to attend the conference in Jamaica, the regional conference in Jamaica, which is happening starting next week, the regional conference. And initially, I wasn't supposed to talk.
That's the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association regional conference.
And initially, I wasn't a speaker. I'm actually an observer. I was a delegate, and then I switched to an observer. And the topic of discussion that I do have to speak about, surprisingly, coincidentally, is parliamentary security. enhancing protection measures for female parliamentarians, of course. Of course, male is also included. And that's one of the issues that I intend to bring up with regards to my speech is the late hours. It creates a safety issue, especially like the leader of the opposition has identified when it comes to these late hours. It's a live briefing that we're doing, and we could offend anybody at any time. And politics is not what it used to be. And so we're not just talking about.
Sorry, I'm
Sure.
getting a message that maybe some problem with the mic. So
Yeah, we're going to switch mics. Just
Okay.
slide each mic down. Yes. Okay.
Okay. Do you want me to start all over again?
Just flip that down.
Flip this down.
Yes, there we go.
And you want this off, or this is okay?
No, that's fine. You're
okay.
good with that.
Okay.
Yes, go.
All right. Good morning once again, and thanks so much for having us. Surprisingly, I think you guys were talking about security and the late hours of Parliament. And I actually, myself and Mr. Roy Tatum, actually will be attending the 48th Regional Conference of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, which is happening in Jamaica next week.
Okay. Yeah.
And initially
the speaker is also attending as well.
And the speaker as well.
And Minister.
And Minister Wilkes.
Okay.
So it's 4 delegates that's actually attending. And initially I wasn't supposed to speak. Mostly the delegates were the ones that are assigned to be speaking. And there were so many topics that had to be discussed. And they had asked me to identify something that I would be interested in speaking on. And there was various different topics. And one of the topics, believe it or not, was parliamentary security, enhancing protection measures for female parliamentarians. So this coincidentally or ironically is very good timing when it comes to this discussion. And in my speech or in my presentation I started last night, one of the things that we have to discuss is the late night sessions with regards to Parliament. There's no way, not only is it counterproductive, it's a safety issue. It's a safety issue because we have to understand that these briefings are live. Parliament is live. We could offend anybody at any given time. And politics arena is not what it used to be. It's completely changed. And especially female parliamentarians. To me, we are not good at defending ourselves as much as the males can. The exposure is far greater for a female. And like the leader of opposition has identified, my apologies, the deputy, we don't have drivers. And so we can easily fall asleep at the wheel also. So that's another hindrance or another obstacle that we have to speak about when it comes to security. Not just security from the physical presence, but also online abuse that's happened rapidly with regards to parliamentarians, the cyberbullying. And so we want more people in this arena, especially females, because we have to strike a balance one way or another. And God knows that we bring a lot to the table. We actually is the entire table at this point. But having said that, we just need to think about it from a holistic approach, not just security presence, not just accessibility. And we as a Caribbean, we go out in public quite often. We are accessible, easily accessible, and harm can be done to any one of us at any given time. And so there are various different aspects, not just the late hours, but especially with it being so counterproductive, especially with the staff. It's a lot for the staff. The staff are impeccable at Parliament, real impeccable. But again, they can't function the next day. I would imagine we can't function the next day if Parliament business continues because of the late hours. So that is something that definitely needs to be spoken about. I know we're addressing the standing orders in October. And so that is something that I think one of the standing orders, I know it's in there, Deputy Leader, I think it's standing order 64, that it's a beginning and end time. And so I think we need to heed to that unless there's some urgency to the country needs. I think we have to heed to that. And like the deputy has indicated as well, I think it has to start from the business committee. The business committee has to get a hold on a much better idea of this agenda. What does that look like and what is realistic? It's not realistic. We're only humans. We're implementing laws, or we're making laws, I should say, and therefore it should come with some level of energy, and we don't have energy after 10 or 11. And we also have responsibilities when it comes to aging parents and children and wives and husbands. They also need our attention as well. And so those are things that we have to take in consideration. But this is very, very timely because, like I indicated, it's not just from a physical presence, it's harm that can be done from so many different levels, and that's something that we need to think about.
Mr. Corner, before we go to the break, because it's so important, our relationship with the government and the Speaker of Parliament. we are putting this point forward from the basis of this very good start, because we see this new scheduling, these dates, to be a good thing. And we're very happy, because in order for us to be proactive, have better scheduling, you need to start by first setting the dates. Yeah. So we're very happy about that. And the only thing was the late nights, because it has a security component, it has a financial component, that we know that there's going to be appetite and opportunity for further discussion. So I guess what we're saying is, thank you, Honorable Speaker, thank you, Honorable Premier, for this, and we look forward to further discussions, particularly when we are amending the standing orders, as well as we look forward to our first business committee meeting to make sure that we are operating at our best for the people.
Folks, we're going to go to a commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Hey, new drivers, don't just drive, drive smart. Cynical and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cynical motor insurance. Learn more and register at cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. Don't lie on your resume. Because if you say you've got trapeze experience, someone might shoot you out of a cannon and expect you to do a gymnast routine while flying through the air at 82 miles an hour. And just because you want to land on your feet doesn't mean you will. But if you're smart, you'll have CG medical insurance, so you get the best coverage for the price.
Get the best coverage for the price. CG Britke. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Housing in the Cayman Islands affects families, renters, first-time buyers, seniors, and vulnerable residents. The Cayman Islands Public and Affordable Housing Policy and 10-year strategic plan provide a coordinated framework to improve housing access, increase supply, and guide phased implementation over time. Public presentations are being developed and will provide opportunities for the community to learn more about the policy and plan. Learn more and get the facts at gov.ky/housing plan. A message from the Ministry of Planning, Lands, Agriculture, Housing, and Infrastructure.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, we have also been joined by the Honorable Pearlina McGaw-Lumsden, Deputy Speaker and MP for the constituency of Georgetown South. West, sorry.
That's okay.
Carving out a new constituency for you.
So, Mr. Connor, before we went to the break, we were just talking about the sitting of Parliament and the new way forward with that. Mm-hmm. And so we want to now transition to some of the priorities for us in the next sitting. And as you know, we in the opposition, we caucus every week. We've obviously had to cut some of those off on the summer break because including MPs need a little break with their families and so forth. So we're getting right back into the thick of things, just like the kids at school. And we're resuming our caucus, our full caucus, because we've been having caucus, but some of them have been by Zoom, some of them have been over lunch, making sure we're keeping an eye on the temperament of things politically. Mm-hmm. And I'm proud to say that we are ready. Plans to make this sitting productive, and in that case, I'll turn it over to Roy T. to talk about one of our first motions that we're going to be bringing to Parliament in the next sitting of the House.
Thank you, sir. OC, I think many of us were shocked, maybe not surprised, but just shocked some months back when it was announced, a report that announced just a serious upturn in sexual offenses. Mm-hmm. Particularly, I think, towards children. And we've seen several cases in the news of late around sexual offenses and some disturbing ones with that involve children.
And some disturbing results.
And some
cases.
disturbing results,
Yes.
which conversation for another time about that. But yes, some disturbing results. I was extremely pleased when my colleague, Pearlina, discussed with me the possibility, or not even possibility, wanting to bring and introduce a sex offenders registry in the Cayman Islands. It's a matter that's been discussed previously, and there's always been concerns about it. But as I always like to say, as I said earlier on, with regards to the Coast Guard's issue, it needs a conversation. And if you can kick off a conversation in Parliament, that's a good place to do so. So I will be seconding a motion that be put forward by Honourable Pearlina with regards to introduction of a sex offenders registry. And I just go through this quickly. It says, whereas the protection of children and vulnerable persons is one of the government's highest responsibilities, and whereas sexual offences have devastating and lifelong consequences for victims, families, and communities, and whereas a number of jurisdictions, including the UK, Jamaica, Bermuda, Canada, and several Caribbean countries, have implemented sex offender registry systems to assist in monitoring convicted offenders, supporting law enforcement, and reducing the risk of reoffending. And whereas a draft legislation entitled the Sex Offenders Registry Bill 2009 was tabled in the Legislative Assembly on the 16th of February 2009, demonstrating that the establishment of such a framework has previously been contemplated and providing a useful starting point for this new legislation, potential new legislation. Whereas any legislation establishing a sex offenders registry in the Cayman Islands should take account of the Cayman Islands constitutional framework, applicable human rights obligations, privacy considerations, rehabilitation and particular needs and circumstances of the Caymanian community. And whereas an effective registration system should provide appropriate mechanisms for monitoring convicted offenders, assisting in the investigation and prevention of offences, protecting children and vulnerable persons, and reducing the risk of offending. Be it therefore resolved that the government considers introducing a sex offenders registry bill to establish a sex offender register in the Cayman Islands, and be it further resolved that the government considers undertaking the necessary stakeholder and public consultation while taking into account the consultation drafts Sex Offenders Registry Bill 2009 and report to Parliament within 12 months with a proposed legislative framework and timetable for the introduction of the legislation, and be it further resolved that the bill A. has due regard to the current Caymanian circumstances and relevant international best practices, B. provides the statutory framework for the registration, risk assessment, monitoring, and management of persons convicted of prescribing sexual offences, and C. authorize the proportionate and lawful disclosure of information solely when necessary to protect children, vulnerable persons, or the wider public from an assessed risk of serious harm. And be it further resolved that the sex offender registry A. be established as a confidential law enforcement and safeguarding mechanism that protects victims and safeguards personal data and respects constitutional and human rights obligations, and be maintained strictly as an administrative tool, ensuring that it does not constitute a public accessible or searchable database. It is timely and is important that we have this conversation. In the past, I know that there have been concerns in a small community about a public register. This is not that. Maybe one day it would be a public register, but we do need to at least have the ability to have sex offenders registered someplace that is accessible to suitable people within law enforcement.
Yes.
And there may be mechanisms. I won't prejudge what comes up in debate and so on, but mechanisms so that, for instance, if I'm starting a preschool, I have a way to vet the people who are coming as teachers. Now, I don't know how we will be able to know who are on overseas registers, but we certainly can know who are on any local registers. With that, I'll leave it to.
Before the Honourable Deputy Speaker gives further analysis of the intent of this. I want to make sure just that we're not convention of or breaking any rules. This motion will be submitted.
No, it's approved.
And approved.
It's approved already?
Approved,
Yeah,
Perfect.
Yes.
I was worried.
okay.
I was worried to get.
I was going to clarify that.
I was worried that the speaker would get us in some trouble. Okay, good.
It's approved.
I adhere to his stuff. And thank you so much, Deputy Leader. I truly appreciate you making that clarification. And having, as he indicated, it has been approved. I wouldn't have discussed it because it's such an important motion. But I do want to thank my colleagues, and especially Mr. Roy Tatum, for seconding this motion. This motion hits home for me. And in addition to that, I know of other persons that are facing these situations that I just couldn't sit by and let it be. This is what we're here for, to make tough calls and to implement laws that protect our citizens. And it's really that simple for me. And I'm really grateful for the speaker, because initially, as Mr. Tatum would know, it must have been 4 pages was the motion itself, or the motion itself. And he's like, this is too lengthy, Deputy Speaker. You have to trim it down. So I do want to say thank you for him for obviously saying it's too lengthy, and the staff also for holding my hand through this whole process, because I want to be able to get every single thing into this motion because of the importance of it and the timeliness of it as well. And like like Mr. Roy has indicated, what this is about, OC, more than anything, is protecting the children and the vulnerable persons in our society. I think it's also giving the law enforcement the tools they need to manage the sex offenders. Yes, they have database, but not particular to sex offenders, and that is extremely important. And also, like he indicated, it's not a public registry. And so we have to make baby steps in order to gradually graduate to where we need to get to. And it's not about vengeance. It's just about prevention. It's about prevention and public safety. And that is what is at the heart of this motion.
Especially given what we've seen
recently. It's been quite alarming. Every single month. And like you said, it's not even just a matter of it happening. It's also the consequences are not following as well. And so, like I said, it's just prevention, accountability, and making sure the public is safe. And this is not an abstract issue to Cayman. This is something that has serious consequences from time that person is 3, 4, 5, or whatever age up to adulthood. And so this is long-lasting impact for the victims. And so we as parliamentarians do think it's absolutely necessary that we do what we can in order to protect the people in our society. And I think it's necessary because, like I said, it has devastating and lifelong consequences, especially for the victims and the families. It impacts your employment. It impacts your mental health. It impacts you physically. And I think one can establish that, yes, rehabilitation. Yes, rehabilitation is important, but rehabilitation and public protections are not mutually exclusive. They have to happen together. And I think that's the most important thing that we have to understand. And like Mr. Tatum has indicated, why now? Well, it's been since 2009 since a bill has been discussed or was discussed or that was supposed to go into the public domain to have a discussion about it. In order for us to be a progressive nation, in order for us to understand the dynamics of what we're dealing with and the situations that we're dealing with, we need laws like this to protect our citizens. We can't think that we're progressive nations in one way and then we sweep everything else under the rug. That's not the society that I want to live in. We have to be able to discuss this, see what the best mechanisms, see what the best laws are, and protect the necessary citizens that's required. And that's what I'm proposing in this motion. I'm just asking government to introduce a sex offender registry, not public. And the motion does cause for risk assessment, monitoring, management of convicted offenders, and also, and that's the framework that they have to build the legislation around. And so my work has now started. And I really want to say thank you to Teresa Pickering and Sandra Catron as well. The significant work that they have done with me and on her trying to promote with regards to this sex offender registry bill. It is absolutely necessary and imperative at this time. So that's where we're at with it. And I'm very proud of this motion. I really, really am. I think it's not only timely, it's required, and it will obviously go a long way in our society.
Yeah. Okay. And when we sat down to look at it, I'll just wrap up with it. When we sat down to look at it, we try to make sure we weren't being overly prescriptive.
Yes.
The government have the resources and the expertise to suss out what it is, the best way to move this forward. So it is a start. We debated in Parliament, and let's see where we go.
Yep. And I do want to say this, and I really want to thank the Deputy Leader and Mr. Tatum and all of my colleagues. I am not I'm not an individual when it comes to details. I'm not very detail oriented, believe it or not. They are very good at looking at emotion, picking it apart, and making sure every single.
I believe that.
Yes, they're very good at it. Yeah. I am not. I'm just like overall picture and let's go and run. And I am very anxious and want to get things done and so on and so forth. They just say no, step back. Let's think about this from a holistic approach and a bigger approach. And what are the intricacies and what is your aim and objectives? And let's look at other jurisdictions and so on and so forth. Yeah. They're very gifted at that, whereas I am not. So I'm really glad that they balance me out. I would come with
they're much more clinical.
Very clinical. Maybe it's the left brain of them, and they're very good at that. So I do want to take the time to tell them, and that's why I lean on them quite often because that's who they are, and they're gifted at that.
With that, we're going to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
I've been advertising with Radio Cayman since 1983 when I first launched Le Classique. I still remember those early days doing live remotes at my various locations, recording commercials in the old studio with the reels, and feeling the excitement of hearing my business come to life on air. Radio Cayman has been a part of my journey from the very beginning, and I'm proud to still be creating commercials with you today. Radio Cayman will always be my number one.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us in the studio with us this morning, Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Kenneth Bryan, Member of Parliament for the constituency of Red Bay, Mr. Roy Tatum, and Deputy Speaker and
Georgetown West.
MP for Georgetown West. Thanks for letting me know that in advance, Honourable Pearlina McGaw-Lumsden. Phone lines open up. I know one particular listener said that they could only stay until 9 o'clock, so obviously they'll miss the opportunity to call in, but we already have one caller on a WhatsApp number, so let's go to that caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Okay, sir.
Go right ahead. Go right
I heard you all speaking concerning security for the members of the Legislative Assembly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I'm doing right now in England.
Okay.
I started my studies in May 2025. And I got my certificate in April 2026. And right now I'm working for the biggest security company in England. And I'm hoping that when you all do get the security officers that you need to help protect the members of parliament, I hope that you all will give our Caymanians the opportunity to be able to do that work by giving them the training that they need and the skills that they need, that the members of the House of Parliament will be protected by their own Caymanian security guards. Thank you very much.
Caller, before you go, very quickly, you spoke about your certification process, and it seems as if it may have ran pretty close to 12 months. Can you briefly tell us, about the extent of the training that you had to undergo, and whether or not you're familiar with, security in the Cayman Islands, and whether or not we have a proper certification process here?
Well, the training that I went through is not in Cayman. The kind of training that I went through online, and then the last few weeks in person.
Mm-hmm.
This type of training isn't happening in Cayman.
Okay.
And it's something that should be happening the same as is happening in England, because when we train for even when it comes to terrorism. Security in England is very important because the police can't be everywhere. And the security guards are highly respected in England just as much as the police officers are. And the police depend on us to help them to be in places and to deal with certain situations when they're not able to. And as a Caymanian, and as members of the Legislative Assembly, you all should be training your own Caymanians to help protect you all in the House of Parliament. Your own Caymanian people should be protecting you. There's no need to be hiring foreign nationals to be security guards guarding the House of Parliament. These should be Caymanians doing this, and I hope this is what will happen. Thank you.
If I could just add, I don't want the public to think that the Parliament is hiring non-Caymanians to guard Parliament. Parliament does have, we have the sergeant, and he has a security team, and those are all Caymanians. Do we need to do a bit more in terms of security? I think so. But in terms of, there may be occasions when, for large events or something, when Parliament may hire a security firm to provide some additional security. I can't, we don't dictate who they send. But Parliament itself, we have the Sergeant of Arms, and he has his security team. So don't want to have the wrong impression.
I think it's
anyone.
Mr. Conn, I think it's important to note that this is a HR-related matter upon which the Constitution separates us from. We agree with the caller. I think the spirit of what he's saying is make Caymanians be the ones protecting their people, and I agree. I think we all agree with that. And if we go any further with extended security measures, which I'm happy that we're hearing the UK is solidifying this even more, particularly because of the numerous amounts of attacks on MPs in the UK that we've heard over the last 2 years, shows that they're taking this serious, and I think we should take heed as well. You don't wait till something happens before you do something about it, and I think that's where the Deputy Speaker has been speaking from, and she's been an advocate for that for some time. But the caller's point is make sure that it's Caymanians doing it. And I think that we can say with a level of confidence that's the attitude that we've seen from the head staff at the Parliament. And we have no reason to believe that they would hire anybody who's non-Caymanian.
Okay, we have 3 callers, 2 on the regular line, 1 on the WhatsApp. We have less than 20 minutes to go, so we're going to ask each caller to please be as brief as possible. We're going to start with the landline caller. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Connor. And members of the opposition.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. I just want to make sure I heard Mr. Tatum there correctly saying that all the security at the Parliament are Caymanians. Because,
I said that Parliament. I didn't want to leave the public with the impression that Parliament did not have its own security in place. We have the Sergeant of Arms, and he has a security team. As far as I'm aware, all members of his security team, whether it's 1 or 2 or 3 people, whatever it is, are Caymanians. And there may be times when there's a need for additional security, and Parliament will hire a security firm to provide. At one point, it was the police, but I think the police have a lot in their hands at the moment. So Parliament will hire a security firm, and they may send individuals as security guards who are non-Caymanians. But Parliament itself does take care of its own internal security.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I was going to say, because I know I did see a private security officer there securing, and he wasn't Caymanian, and he hadn't even been, respectfully saying so, he hadn't even been versed on protocol of the Parliament, because he wasn't even aware that members of the public could come in and go up into the galley.
Right.
But I'm sure, listening to the last caller there, I'm sure, encouraging what he was saying, I'm sure if the need ever arises again, that Parliament could secure a Caymanian to represent that security if the need arises in the future, rather than hiring a private security company, which, I know there's private security companies securing all government buildings, and there's one or 2 particular companies that do that, but these companies should also be able to have Caymanians employed with them. And most companies, most businesses now can actually hire and train their own security officers, and have their own officers per se on their private properties, rather than hiring security companies. So that could be something that could be considered. But I didn't hear what the discussion was before the caller. I just tuned in to hear the caller that was calling from overseas. So I just wanted to add that bit in there, because it would look more professional and more politically correct as a statement to have Caymanians there as security officers, and guarding our parliamentarians. But I'll leave you with that, Mr. Connor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. I just want to emphasize again, first off, I want to tell that caller that I love her tremendously. For those who don't know who that is, it could be inside secret. I love you. Have a wonderful day. But to answer her question also is that this is why I emphasize the fact of we are not in control of the HR-related matters. And within the internal Parliament, which is a separate entity and independent from core government, they have a chief officer who's the clerk of Parliament, and she has her chief of security, which is the Sergeant of Arms, and they are the ones responsible for the hiring of individuals. But more importantly, I want to give some preference that it is difficult sometimes to always have a Caymanian. I think what the Honourable Deputy Speaker was speaking about is full-time persons who will walk with, travel with, those kinds of things for MPs, as opposed to on-site security, where all the security that is hired there now are Caymanian. But in the event that you have a function and you only need that person for 8 hours, that they outsource it. And whichever company you outsource it to, unless there's a principle within the contract to say, make sure the only officer that you send is a Caymanian, and also look like a Caymanian, because that's another narrative that we sometimes forget, that a person may look like not a Caymanian, but we don't know their status. But it's important that all MPs are taken away from the critique of the situation, because we don't have the HR power to dictate any of that. But we have always said and support Caymanians first in respect to any hiring, and we will continue to do that. And I'm certain that the Sergeant of Arms and the Clerk of Parliament will listen to the show and hear the content of the public. So I'll leave it there.
Okay, Ms. Susan, we want to try to grab one more caller before we go to the commercial break, or take the commercial break first, which... We're going to take the break. We still have a caller on the landline and one on the WhatsApp number as well. We will take both callers as soon as we return. So don't hang up, hang in. We will be back shortly.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. 14 minutes left to go in the show. 2 callers that we're going to take, and we still have our guests in the studio as well. We're going back to the landline. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. Morning to the guests there.
Morning.
Good
morning.
Good morning, Elvis. Yeah. I'm just waiting to go blow the rest of the smoke. All right.
You got fire little.
Hey, this is not joking. I know joking. This serious. Yeah. I right in the mood now, Mellow. Yeah, I say, gentlemen, you know, once a product is being allowed to come into your country and being covered by the insurance, that means it should be a workable product, a good product, because let's say if I bring in a car and the car not up to get licensed, that means I can't get it insured, right? So if we are allowing medicinal marijuana extract to come into our island, the government charge a tax, the doctors make money, and the insurance companies insure it. So that means that all of the legal foundation is there. So it leaves an open road, no red lights for the people of the Cayman Island if the elected politicians have the desire, the will, to do so. We could start a real serious industry because we already are promoted as a medical tourism destination, right? We have diving, we have fishing, we have, hiking, and now we have medicinal tourism. So I want to ask you now, I hope that you guys know that the King of England, our king, my king, I raise the flag, is now taking medicinal marijuana for his cancer, right?
Yes.
The BBC said so. So they all agree to that, right?
Yes.
So tell me something now. We got 10,385 votes on this matter to decriminalize it, okay? And so I don't hear nobody riding a horse beside me. And now we cannot get it legalized. I know that under the Constitution. Like I said, now I'm good. I'm right in the spirit now. The ganja got to bring click in 1 or 10. So There is nothing between us and England, the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, that would stop or put any red signs up that we cannot start an industry because we are importing the product. And if we can deliver it here, do it right here, I don't see us having a problem with Great Britain, with England, right? I don't see it. But the thing that I see is we don't have the will. We don't have the politicians behind the people. We don't have that here. No, especially in this case. But like I say, you know, we, the ganja users like myself, you see right now, the only thing I got in my mind now is have a good conversation, cooking some food, and I wish I had somebody who could play some music, man, because that's how my mind feels right now. But, you know, I wish that some of the guys would, because I'm sure when I have family that smoke it, and I'm sure that on a help family that is probably using the medicine. So please, you know, just open the hearts and on the mind. Because on the eyes, I don't know if they're open. But open your heart, your mind. Yeah?
Thank you.
Please.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's grab the last caller.
Just before,
okay, sure.
just before the caller calls on, I just want to say everything that Elvis said is 100% spot on. He said that
except for the eyes bit.
Well, besides his joke at the end, which I know he's just being humorous, and I appreciate his humor, but he's committed, and I think he's recognized the fact that, you know, the legalization compared to the decriminalization component, and he's just saying there's nobody out there fighting the battle for it, right? What reason that is, I think that we are doing what we're supposed to do in opposition every sitting in the House asking for updates with the government who has the power to bring it in power. But the medicinal component that he was talking about, somebody has to, I don't think anybody would be against it because it would be regulated. It's not for consumption for smoking. It's a medicine you're trying to create. Now that's a possibly billion, if not million dollar investment to start a farm and getting the government to change legislation to allow it to be grown and then turned into the oils and then or shipped out of the country or within the country. I don't think anybody's against that. Yeah. But who has the money to go and do that? And I don't think the government is going to get into that business. Maybe it's something we should consider. I think that's what he's saying.
Medical marijuana is a controlled drug, just as because it's for medicinal purposes, just like drugs like morphine is illegal, but you can use it for medicinal and it's controlled. So it's what we have done here is to introduce medical marijuana as a controlled drug, which is a good thing.
Okay, let's grab our last caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello, good morning, Ms. Osi.
Good morning. Morning.
Good morning to the panel, PPM.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good to hear from you.
Good morning, Kenneth. Morning, Ms. Tatum. Morning, Ms. Pearlina.
Good morning.
Uncle Elvis, I should call you. Good morning, Mom. Uncle Elvis, I should call you Monday and I get you. You know, colorful, like colorful words. Anyhow.
Sorry?
I go hedge my country. No, I told I'm Uncle Elvis indirectly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know, I colorful my words. Ms. Osi, I have a time frame, right? Contribution. Anyhow, I go hedge my contribution this morning, right? I see the PPM, they come on the show, and at least tell them they indulge condition with decriminalization. The government, I hear nothing. The table is silent. Okay? And as the opposition, we're here this morning, it's gradually incremental progress. It's a necessity. And a shadow it and promoting certain agendas. So my rundown and outline, the epitome, culturally and linguistically, we in the region, in the Caribbean, we in the Baltics. I heard the call in the UK calling when I worked in Wisconsin in 2005. They had a terrorist attack with a phone detonated a bomb. Right, Mr. Blood Englishman, where I'm looking at. I said, yeah, look at his laptop at the time. Right? And when in Haiti, northeast of us, the turmoil in Haiti. Right? 47 dead, 50 kidnapped. Political. Get to the point now. In the brain plasticity, our cognitive horizon, the short wins, no, the long-term concerns, typically politically palatable. And always the intuition is quick, gradually unconscious, sense of judgment. In the premonition, it's specifically what will happen in the future, a caveat warning. So I made 2 points, Mr. Ozima, a minute, 6 seconds. Right, I talk about the decontamination, and then the UK. You see, the whole proclivity and parallax of tendency regulation with decontamination is discussing human behavior without moral panic. Yeah, man, Elvis, he may similar to different state. No, you know that whole family. You understand? He's more radical than me. All right. So he's very humorous this morning. He enjoys himself. I enjoy myself too. Right. I don't remember fast. I do my garden work, and I don't want to change lanes. You see the fire thing now? I burn my fire every weekend to eradicate mosquitoes and scorpions and rodents in 4 legs of backyard. Okay, I get the power. I get back a trap. So see, you know, we all came on this. Keep up me. We merging. So differently now. The whole election integrity always give incentives now to the voter who have comfortable in self-standard, right? Garner and a base and standpoint, right? But unfortunately, it's all preconceived notions disproportionately. You see?
Okay, I'm going to ask you to wrap me up there, Rambo, real quickly.
Give me 30 seconds, please, sir. Right, and then I'm back to talking. I get to the point, right, sir? You see alcohol, tobacco, they're regulated, right? There was a surge of warning that. In Cayman relies on the UK, right? Bilateral. In a referendum, in Constitutional Convention, we need to modernize it and baseline it. Mr. Tatum, if I say, you and I are acutely aware with the UK disaccredited administration. Musical chairs. At least you attack with that one. Have a good day, gentlemen. Miss Pearlina, have a good day.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Rambo. Folks, we have about 4 minutes left. Want to give each of you an opportunity for wrap-ups as well, starting with Miss Pearlina.
Boy, they love picking a new name. But thank you so much for having us once again. And I do want to say a special thank you to the constituents of Georgetown West. We had our back-to-school barbecue last week, Saturday, and we anticipated around 40, 50 people. And we end up with over 120 individuals with various different age groups. And so we were extremely happy with it. We ran out of food and backpacks and every single thing. But it goes to the point of we must be present in our community. We must be in a position where we have to give back, and there's so many needs in the community as well. So that's a constant reminder to always do what we possibly can. And I really want to take the time out to each and every single one who actually made an effort to come out. It was very, very good to actually engage with each and every single individual and to remind them, of course, about the school ban with regards to cell phone that's coming up and that the role that parents must play in their children's lives. And so that was very, very rewarding for me and a very, very enjoyable day. So I want to take the time to tell them thank you so much, and I'm wishing every single citizen of this country a very, very good and productive day, and thank you so much for your time, OC.
Thank you Mr. Tatum.
Yeah, OC, I'll wrap up with this. Just want to once again thank the RCIPS for being at the schools this week and again next week to try to make traffic flow a bit easier and keep our kids safe. I still have some school supplies in my office. My supplies arrived a little bit later than I was expecting. I've given out some, but I still have some. So if anybody needs some supplies, reach out to Vicky at my office, 923-5285, 923-5285. And just want to also say that once more, I really hope that our kids have a very productive year. Education is very, very important, as we all know. And there was some negative reports in the press lately with regards to achievement of our kids, but I don't want to focus too much. We need to pay attention to it, but let's also look at the many positives as well. So have a good year, and I won't see you next week. I'll be with the conference.
Oh, yes,
but
right. Yeah.
I'll be back the week after.
Excellent. Deputy Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Connor, and I want to say a special thanks to Ms. Susan in the back for always being there with us.
Oh, yes, Ms. Susan.
And thank you for our support team in the back, Ms. Bush. OC, thank you for allowing us to be on. We look forward to be on the show again next week, Wednesday, with the Honorable Leader, who's traveling right now, dealing with some opposition business, and we hope and pray that he's kept safe, and look forward to seeing him back home soon. And we will be discussing some further things that we didn't get a chance to discuss today, particularly with much of the new articles coming out about the work permit approvals or the lack thereof, which is having some concerns that we will be caucusing and discussing about. We'll also be discussing our continuing the listening tour that the opposition started, and our next spot is Savannah Newlands area, and so we will be announcing some more information about that. We want the public to know that we are staying on the ground with you, the people, trying to keep ahead of the issues that are facing you.
Yep.
And we want you to continue to reach out to us in the opposition. Our job is to advocate on your behalf in the highest house of the land, which is the parliament outside of the church. With that being said, we want to say thank you again to the listening audience and all those who participated, those who called in.
Much appreciated.
We really, really appreciate your participation in the discussion. It means a lot to us. And Mr. Connor, thank you to you for being an amazing host as always. And we look forward to seeing you next week, Wednesday, right here on For the Record.
Before you go, I don't want this listener to believe that I've been ignoring what they have been sending in. But this person constantly queries the $1,500 per month that most people are getting and finding it extremely difficult to survive on that based on the cost of living. And they keep inquiring as to when is something going to be done about it.
Well, I don't think we can speak to it too heavily because it's a government decision because they control the financial purse of the taxpayers. We have advocated almost every sitting of the House in one way, shape, or form, either by motions or by questions or even commentary when they're making other announcements. And I will I'll formulate a question for the next sitting of Parliament, either myself or the leader, on behalf of the official opposition and on behalf of those who are impacted by this, to ask if the government intends to increase it to fit the cost of living standards of today. And hopefully we will be able to give the public an answer as to the government's position. If we were in power today, I can give you the commitment that the official opposition and its members would have already increased it to be in line with inflation, because we recognize the cost of living continues to grow. But we can't officially answer that. We've asked the government to say something, and those responsible for that area have not said anything publicly about it that we are aware of outside of the comments within Parliament. But we will continue to ask the question to get the relevant information for those impacted by it.
Okay, thank you very much for that response, folks. Want to say to you thanks to all of you who either listened in and called in as well. I want to say thanks to our guests. Don't forget, continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Mr. Charles Glidden Shallow at 12:15 for Talk to Den as usual. We ask the good Lord to continue to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
If they are talking about us,
living in your head rent-free all this time,
we must be relevant. Radio Cayman, since 1976.